friends, it's Liv and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. If you are, hi, my name is Liv. It is so nice to meet you. As you guys can tell, we're in a different setup today. I am home until the end of March visiting family, and so kind of figuring out a different place to film at my parents' house, but I'm kind of liking where we're at right now, so we might stick with this one. Anyways, so for today's video, I actually want to recreate my first ever video that I put on BookTube, which was like 2.5 years ago. I uploaded a video called the First Date Book Tag. We'll have a link down below in case you're interested in watching it. So back in October of 2017, I filmed this video kind of expecting that I was going to make more, and then for some reason I just didn't. I think school really got in the way. I was really kind of busy, didn't really have a chance to film much. But we're here now, and now I've kind of been uploading regularly here for a few months now, so I kind of want to recreate the first video I ever did. I thought it'd be kind of fun to try this out, so here we are. So the First Date Book Tag is a series of questions relating to different types of first dates, and I am going to assign each of these prompts with the book I feel fits the most. My tastes have definitely changed in the last couple of years, so my answers for all of these, but I think one or two have changed. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, so number one here is Awkward First Date, a book where something felt off. Wasn't a bad book, just lacked that spark. And for this, I honestly have to say Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I really did enjoy Turtles All the Way Down. Not a bad book by any means. I really enjoyed it. But I don't know, there was something about it. I guess I thought more that the plot would lie more with the mystery that kind of kickstarts the whole book, and that just really wasn't the case. So for that, it kind of fell a little flat for me. I guess I just couldn't fully connect with the characters, couldn't fully put myself into their shoes. So it wasn't a bad book by any means. I did give it a 4 stars. I really did enjoy it, but yeah, just kind of lacked that spark that I was really looking for. Number 2 on here was A Cheap First Date, which is a book that didn't really measure up to what you expected. And for this, I'm going to go with Every Day by David Levithan. I was so excited to finally read this book. It had been on my shelf for years. The premise of it just sounded so intriguing to me because it's about a soul who wakes up in a different body every day. But I don't know, something about it just left me with so many questions that I felt weren't answered. And I know there are more books, so I know like all of the questions would kind of lie there. But I don't know, something about it, like I read it and I liked it, it was okay, but it really didn't live up to what I was hoping it was gonna be, so definitely much less than I personally expected. Number 3 was a well-prepared first date, so something that was better than you expected, and for this, I'm gonna go with one of my personal favorites of 2019, which is Three Dark Crowns by Kendra Blake. After hearing so many people talk about this book, I knew it was exactly like right up my alley. It was right what I was looking for in that moment, so I expected it to be good, but something about it, once I hit like the 150 page mark, I flew through the rest of that book. I absolutely loved it. It was so good. Definitely one of my top favorites of 2019, so definitely a book that, I don't know, my expectations were completely blown. I loved the series. It was actually probably the first series in I don't know how long that I read nonstop books 1 through 4 without taking a break. If you know me, if you watch this channel, you know that is something I struggle with. Because I will read the first book, maybe start the second one, put it down, and then not pick it back up to the point where I have to reread the first book, or I just go a long time without picking up the second book, and so then again I forget everything that happens. But with this series, I started with number 1. As soon as I finished number 1, picked up number 2. While I was reading number 2, I had books 3 and 4 shipping to me so I could just finish the rest of the series. That is something that does not happen with me, so this was definitely a well-prepared first date. Number 4 is Hot But Dumb, a book that is pretty on the outside but not so much inside. And this is a book that I've talked about on my channel a million times, which is Circe by Madeline Miller. As you know, I'm obsessed with the cover and how shiny it is. I talk about the cover every time this book is mentioned on my channel, and I don't know, it wasn't a bad book, but it was very passive, I want to say, and not really much of what I expected. So I don't know, I guess I expected Circe to be a lot scarier, but instead it really kind of seemed passive, and like the flow of time just kind of went by. I felt like not much was happening, so that would definitely be my Hot But Dumb. A pretty cover, but not so much on the inside. I'm so sorry for the creaking of this chair, it's so loud. But number 5 is A Blind Date, which is a book you picked up not knowing anything about it. And for this, I'm going to say The Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White. I only picked up this book because I needed a buddy read for a readathon, and a group of people were like, hey, we're all reading this if you want to join. So that is why I picked up this book and read it, but I'm really glad I did. I really enjoyed The Guinevere Deception, and the second book cover was revealed recently, and oh my goodness, it is beautiful. So yes, that is a series that I will definitely continue as soon as it started. But yeah, it was a blind date that worked out in probably the best way possible. I had so much fun. We went on the date, we met, had a great time, and we're going on another date. Number 6 is Speed Dating, and it is a book you read super fast, and for this I had to go with The Thief by Megan Wallen Turner because I read this in one day. Granted, it is a very short book. I mean, I say very short, it's like 280 pages, but yeah, I challenged myself to finish a whole book in a day. This was the one, so we went on a speed date. Again, we had a nice time. This is another book that I have not read the rest of the series yet, and I read this book a year ago now. So that is something I need to do, but I mean, hey, if I forget everything and need to reread this book, I can do so in about a day, so it works. But real talk, I really do want to finish the rest of the series soon because it intrigued me. I enjoyed the first book, but I want to read the others because I think it's one that like the books don't really connect, but like they all take place in the same universe. I guess they connect, but they're about different characters. So that intrigues me, and I definitely want to know more. Number 7 is The Rebound, which is a book that you read too soon after a book hangover, and it kind of ruined the book for you. And I want to say this is the one that I have the same answer for both videos, but it is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. As I think I mentioned in that very first video, I read this book the night I finished Deathly Hallows for the very first time. This was definitely the definition of a book hangover for me because every time I tried to read this book in particular, I would get a headache, which did not make sense to me in the slightest. It still really doesn't, because every other time I tried to read anything, I would be completely fine. But with this book, yeah, I would try to read it, I would get like 10 pages in, and then I would get a headache and have to stop. And so I definitely think it impacted the way I enjoyed the book and my priority in putting the next book in the series, because I read this 10 years ago and I am now reading City of Heavenly Fire. It is my current read and it's been 10 years. So definitely, yeah, I read this book in 7th grade, read City of Ashes my freshman year of college, and then last year I finally picked up City of Glass. So this is definitely, it's a principle, and I am so determined to finally finish the series. Now I love these books. I really do. I love Cassandra Clare. I'm honestly debating rereading this book now to see if I do finally enjoy it, because it was okay. I thought when I first read it, I know compared to her other books, this is not the best one of them all, but I'm really, really tempted to read it again 10 years later and see if I can read it without getting a headache. But yeah, this was the definition of a book hangover, and the worst one I've ever had. My first was the worst. Number 8 is An Overly Enthusiastic Date, which is a book you felt was trying too hard, and for this I am going with Save the Date by Morgan Matson. This was a book, I liked it. It was fun. And I guess I can't take too many points away for kind of what I felt was trying too hard, which was the plot of this book really stems from the fact that everything that could possibly go wrong before a wedding goes wrong. But for me, I don't know, when I read it, it almost felt like a little too much, which kind of made it unrealistic, kind of hard to really like sympathize with what was going on, because every single time that you thought what finally went wrong, the last thing would go wrong, like 5 other things go wrong, and I'm like, when will it end? I just want them to get married at this point. So that kind of took away from the book for me a little bit. Still enjoyed it, but definitely I thought it was really overly enthusiastic. We went to McDonald's and he wore a tux, trying a little too hard, but you know, it was still fun. Number 9 was A Perfect First Date, which is a book that you thought did everything right for you, and for this I am going with Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. This is a book that I did not know I needed until I finally read it. This is what everyone kind of is saying is the next Harry Potter, and not in the sense that it's like ripping off Harry Potter, but it's very whimsical. Like, I know this first one was like kind of like a magical competition setting. Book 2 I think is a magical school setting. I haven't read it yet, but it's definitely a priority. I finally picked it up recently. But this was a book that just, Everything about this went right for me. I absolutely loved it. I loved how whimsical it was, how fun. I love our main character Morgan and all the people that she meets along the way. This was so fun. I am a sucker for a magical competition trope. So every single like moment of the competition in this, I was like, yes, yes, go girl, go. This was a perfect first date. We are definitely going on a second one. This was so good. And like, can I have a Nevermore movie, please? I would kill for a movie of this book. I want to see Nevermore in all of its glory. I want to see Jupiter North in all his glory. This crazy redheaded man that is so fun and I absolutely love. But yes, just the perfect first date. So let's say number 10 is A Humiliating First Date, which is a book you're embarrassed to be seen reading in public or to say you like. And I don't know, for this one, I was a little torn because I try not to be embarrassed about the books that I like or seen reading in public. However, whenever I mention to anyone that my favorite book is Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas, there's a very fine line dividing the two sides of the book community, whether people absolutely love Sarah J Maas and all of her books or people absolutely hate them. And I am definitely on the side that absolutely loves Sarah J Maas's books. This book just looks worn. I love this book so much and all of the characters. And so, I don't know. So there's kind of, yeah, I wouldn't say I'm not embarrassed to be reading Throne of Glass by any means. I absolutely love it and I will like shout from the rooftops how much I love Sarah J Maas. However, there is definitely that fine line that kind of gives people some flack for liking Sarah J Maas. If you like it, it shouldn't be embarrassing to you. Just take it from me because I like a lot of embarrassing stuff. But Throne of Glass is definitely something that could be considered humiliating, I guess, but I mean, I love it. All right, and there you have it, guys. That was my remake of the First Date book tag, or a First Date book tag 2.0, if you will. I had so much fun redoing this old video of mine. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and comment down below if you were to go on any of these dates, which would you go on, or if any of the prompts here you have any books here that you want to mention. I really want to know. If you're not subscribed to this channel already, you can do so by clicking that button down below, and be sure to hit that bell icon as well to be notified every time I post a new video, so I do upload every Monday and every Thursday on this channel and you don't want to miss what's coming next. As always, thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you next time. Bye!